Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good morning, class. I do hope you all are doing well. In previous lecture, we are done with our unit number 2, Chinese New Year, along with its vocabulary and question answers. Today, we are going to discuss simple past tense and past continuous tense. We all are familiar with the tenses very well. We use tense every day. What do you think? What is tense? What comes in your mind when we say tense? How can you define the tense? Let's see how grammarians define the tense. Tense is a change of form in a verb to express the time of an action. It means tense is co-occurrence of time and action. When time and action comes together, it becomes tense. Tenses are based on time frame. There are 3 tenses: present tense, past tense, and future tense. Every tense has 4 aspects. Do you know what is aspect? Aspects refer to the nature of the action described by the verb. First one, simple or indefinite. Second, continuous or progressive. Third one, perfect or complete. And last one, perfect continuous. Past tense. Past tense actually refers to a verb tense that expresses action or states in the past. It is a verb form that shows action that has already taken place. It means for past actions or states are to express those actions which were already taken place, we use past tense. Then simple past. Simple past tense describe action and states that began and ended at a specific time in the past. For example, she read the book last Sunday. This action started in the past and completed in the past. That is why we used simple past tense for this action or to describe this action. She played volleyball last Saturday. Again, the action was started and completed in the past. I went to the market. Action finished and started in the past. Sarah lived in Lahore for 5 years. Affirmative sentences. Do you know what is affirmative sentence? Affirmative sentence is also called assertive sentence or simple sentence or statements. It has a specific structure: subject, second form of verb, and object if you have a subject. If you have a verb, second form of verb, and object, you can make so many sentences of simple past tense. For example, I took tea. You can see there is no helping verb, but even then, it's a correct sentence. It stopped raining. No helping verb, but it conveys complete thought. It is a correct sentence. They invited their friends. She walked to school. They watched a film. Juniors arranged a farewell party for the seniors. I wrote a letter. You solved a sum. You can see in these examples, in these sentences, there is no helping verb. These all are simple or assertive sentences of simple past. We use second form of verb, one subject and one object to make sentences. Simple past tense time expressions. There are certain time expressions which indicates the action has happened in past. For example, when we say yesterday, it indicates past, last night, last week, 10 minutes ago, and so on. I worked hard last weekend. Here, last weekend shows the past. English has two types of verbs in past tense, regular verb and irregular verb. We all know what is regular verb and what is irregular verb. Most verbs are regular verbs. Regular verbs are those whose past tense and past participle are formed by adding a d or an ed to the end of the verb. For example, to roll is a good example of regular verb. Roll, rolled, rolled. For example, play, played, played. Jump, jumped, jumped. Walk, walked, walked. There is a huge list of regular verbs. In notes, I have provided you a list of regular verbs and irregular verbs which you need to learn by heart and remember. And you can see there are different verbs. There are few verbs which need ed, and there are some verbs which need only d. Then what is irregular verb? Irregular verbs are common verbs in English language that do not follow a simple system of adding d or ed to the end of the word. So, to form the past tense, that means spellings can be little tricky. Some irregular verbs follow patterns such as drink, drank, spring, sprang, know, knew, blow, blew, but we cannot use these patterns with predictability. Unfortunately, learning irregular verb means memorization. There are some irregular verbs, for example, go, went, do, did, say, said, see, saw, eat, ate, drive, drove, make, made, drink, drank. You can see they don't have specific pattern. So to learn these verbs, there is just one way, that is memorization. You need to memorize these verbs. Look at these verbs. What do you think? These are regular or irregular? Then come towards second type of sentence, which is negative sentence. We need negative sentences too, and these negative sentences have different structure. To make negative sentence of simple past, we need a helping verb which is did and a negative marker which is not. So we need subject, did not, first form of verb, and object. Do you know why we use first form of verb here? Yes, because we have helping verb did, and did always takes V1. Asha did not help me. Here we have help. What do you think? Help is a regular verb or irregular verb? I did not want to learn English. Well, I really want to learn. You did not listen to music yesterday? We did not live in Karachi 2 years ago. The dog did not bark often. She did not buy a new dress this weekend for the party. In all these sentences, you can see these are negative sentences because we add a negative marker. We cannot add a negative word or marker directly. We need a helping verb, which is did. As we have did, that is why we are using V1 in negative sentences. We can make negative sentences with time expressions too. For example, I did not live in flat during my last summer holidays. I did not go to Karachi last July. Then interrogative sentences. What do you think? What is interrogative sentence? Yes, interrogative sentences are used to ask questions. There are different ways to make question. The most easy and simplest way is by using a helping verb. So whenever we need an interrogative sentence of simple past tense, how we used to make these sentences. It has a specific structure. Did comes before the subject, then first form of verb, then object. For example, did Aisha help me? Here you can see we use helping verb. Whenever we have did, we have to use V1. Then there are some examples of interrogative sentences. You can write so many examples. Read your examples yourself and write at least 15 examples more. There is another way to make question, which is that way? Yes, by using interrogative pronoun, a WH words. When we use an interrogative pronoun, a WH word, then that becomes in the beginning of sentence. Then we have some signal words. For example, while, as, when. If you have two actions together, we can use these words. Then for negative sentences, we need to add a negative marker after the helping verb. There is a specific structure: subject plus helping verb plus not plus V1 plus ing plus object. You can see the examples of negative sentences. Read these examples very carefully and you need to note down at least 10 more examples. Then interrogative sentences. As we have discussed the structure before, while making interrogative sentences, helping verb comes before the subject and otherwise with same form of verb and arrangement of sentence. Helping verb, subject, first form of verb plus ing plus object. Uses of past continuous. First one, we use past continuous if two or more actions that were in progress in past at the same time. While I was reading, he was writing. I was studying while my brother was watching TV. For descriptions, we use past continuous. For example, she looked like a princess. She was wearing a long silk dress and her eyes were shining. To express to express an interpreted past activity. For example, I was walking home when it started to rain. Often in the sentences with the past simple past to refer to longer background activity, while the past simple refers to the shorter completed action. For example, the children were playing in the garden when their parents arrived. Repeated action. For example, they were always fighting. She was always complaining about her job. To start a story, create an atmosphere, we use past continuous. So these are the uses of past continuous. I do hope things are clear. If you have any problem, any ambiguity, you can contact me. Thank you and have a nice day.